Last year, LEGO released set 21349, the Tuxedo Cat, which in my opinion, as an avid cat lover, is one of the best sets LEGO's brought out in recent years. It started life as a LEGO Ideas project and it has 1710 pieces, movable legs, tail, and apparently if you turn the head it's meant to sound like the cat is purring, although it doesn't really sound like any cat I've owned. Anyway, despite this, it's a cracking little set. Now, I have a cat, and as a cat lover, you'd have thought this would be a day one purchase for me. But one of the reasons why I've only just bought it now is purely down to the fact that the finished model, as you can see, just doesn't look anything like my cat. Okay, I could have just bought it anyway, but for the past year I've had to look through so many posts on Reddit of people who have built the set and then taken a picture next to their real life Tuxedo Cat. And I kind of want that special moment with my own cat. In fact, that's exactly why Damien Andres, the man behind this set, created it in the first place. He just wanted to build his own cat Miro out of Lego. So what better way to pay homage to this fantastic set than to do the same myself? And that's exactly what I did. So before we get started on the build, a little bit of background information about my cat. Her name is Stinky Tots, yes that's her actual name. She's 3.5 years old and she's a Maine Coon. Not a big fan of Lego, which is a shame, but I'm hoping that this experience will bring us a little bit closer and maybe she'll have a newfound respect for my favourite hobby. Now, I don't have a lot of experience modifying Lego sets and building mocks, so I started by firing up Studio, which is a piece of software owned by Bricklink, and it basically just allows you to build Lego virtually. Fortunately for me, someone had already built the Tuxedo Cat in Studio, so I simply imported this model and then started changing various colours so that it would look like my cat. Now, like most cat owners, I have thousands of pictures of my cat, but there were still a few areas that I didn't have many pictures of, which I think my cat found a little bit weird. Just need to get a picture of your back legs, if that's okay. Once it was finished and I was happy with how it looked, I then needed to start buying some Lego pieces. Now, because Studio is owned by Bricklink, they have a feature where you can take what you built and upload it to Bricklink as a wanted list. And then once you've done that, you can part out that wanted list, which is basically where Bricklink finds stores and it basically kind of works out the cheapest way for you to buy those pieces. Having said that, it was still very expensive. I think I ended up spending like about £80, which was pretty much the same cost as the set itself. Then a few days later, Mr. Postman came round and dropped off my pieces and I was ready to start building. Now, while I'm building this, I just want to go over a few of the compromises I had to make, of which there were quite a few, sadly. And it was mainly just down to the fact that it was just hard to get certain parts in certain colours. The biggest compromise I had to make was with the ears. I really wanted to get these in a light grey colour, but that part has only been made in that colour in one set. And that set was the Ultimate Quinjet set 76126. And yeah, it just meant it's really hard to get that part. There was only one seller in the UK with that part and they only had one of them, which wasn't much use really. So I just thought I'll just get them in white, which still sort of works. But yeah, hopefully that's something I can rectify over time. Secondly, this humble 3x3 piece, you'd have thought it'd be easy to get that in a dark grey colour, but it's only featured in that colour in 3 sets, which were sets 75181, 70352 and some random set that I've never ever heard of. And yeah, there were just no sellers in the UK with that part. There was someone in Ireland with that part, but I think if I was to order it, it would have cost me like £15 in shipping and fees, which is an unfortunate byproduct of the fact the UK is no longer in the European Union. It's just really expensive to order things from overseas.
What do you think about Brexit?
So does that mean we won't have any trees?
Yeah, so just to cut a long story short there, I ended up getting that part in light grey. It was still relatively expensive, but it does the job. And finally, this 1x2 slope piece, I really wanted it in the medium nougat colour, but it just straight up doesn't exist. Lego's never made it in that colour, so I had to go for the standard nougat colour. And that was something I really couldn't wrap my head around, because the medium nougat colour was introduced in 2010, and since then LEGO has made 1,561 sets with that colour in them. So it's kind of strange that that piece hasn't featured in any of those sets. But yeah, if you look for that piece in medium nougat on Bricklink, it's just not there. So not much I could do really. So yeah, those were the kind of 3 big compromises I had to make. But I still think the overall look is fairly good. And as I said, I can try and fix those problems over time. So here is the finished cat. I guess my first mock. I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. Obviously, you get a limited range of colours with Lego, so I couldn't 100% sort of match the colour of my actual cat. But there was one thing left which I had to do. You see, the Tuxedo Cat comes with 2 pairs of eyes, blue and yellow, but my cat's eyes are green, so it didn't really quite work. And I was looking online to see if I could get any custom printed Lego pieces, but I couldn't find any. But I did stumble across this interesting post on Reddit where someone was basically saying you can make the eyes green if you apply a green permanent marker over the top of the yellow eyes. So I gave that a try and it worked pretty well actually. Obviously felt a little bit strange kind of vandalising my Lego. I half expected someone from the Lego police to kind of turn up at my door the second that I did it, but thankfully no one did. And yeah, it definitely looks a lot better with the green eyes. And here it is next to my cat. I think she likes it, although hard to tell. Okay, that brings me to the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more Lego content. Thanks again and see you in the next one.